Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me again today. In the video, we're going to be showing you guys how to make spaghetti sauce. So we're going to be using a jarred pasta sauce, and I'm going to show you guys how to doctor it up to make it taste more like a homemade sauce. Alright you guys, so for this recipe, we're going to be using some ground beef. If you'd like, you can also use Italian sausage, sliced white mushrooms, a large yellow onion, green bell pepper, 5 garlic cloves, dried thyme, basil, parsley, and oregano or Italian seasoning, garlic pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and crushed red pepper flakes, sage, 2 bay leaves, diced tomatoes with the juice, any pasta sauce you like, and some tomato paste. So I'm going to begin with a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of my pot. And I'm going to go ahead and start cooking my mushrooms. So I want to cook the mushrooms all by themselves first in a little bit of oil, just to try to get some of the water out of them. And I really like, every time I cook mushrooms, I like to season them with a little bit of sage and some ground pepper. So the trick with mushrooms is you really want to wait until they have cooked to add any kind of salt to these, because the salt is going to pull the water out of the mushrooms and it's just going to make your mushrooms sort of boil instead of saute. So while the mushrooms are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and work on my onion. This onion was enormous, so if you guys have a small onion, you might need to use the whole thing. You're going to end up with about 3/4 of a cup of chopped onion. So we're just cutting that into a nice small dice. And then I'm just going to set this aside for just a minute. Now that the mushrooms have cooked down for about 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add some salt to these. And I would just want you guys to notice that I am using a kosher salt. Kosher salt is a very large granule salt, so when you are using kosher salt, you're using a little bit more than if you were to use iodized salt. So you guys keep that in mind whenever you're watching my videos. I'm just going to remove the mushrooms from the pan, and then I'm going to go ahead and start browning up our ground beef, and I'm just going to break it up in my hands a little bit. Guys, in the video I did not add the ground Italian sausage, but you do want to go ahead and add that at this point as well if you guys are using it. I was making this spaghetti for someone that did not want sausage, and so I didn't add it, but it definitely is going to make the flavor better. So just keep that in mind, that if you guys like that, go ahead and add it in right now. And I'm also going to add in all of my dried herbs. So I'm just going to get in there and I'm just going to break these up with my fingers a little bit. This is going to help to release some of the flavor and allow the herbs to work to their best potential. And this is essentially just an Italian seasoning blend after I've mixed this all together. So if you guys have Italian seasoning blend, just throw that in there instead. And then the same thing with the other dried spices. I'm just going to throw those in and let these start working into the ground meat. While the meat is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get the green pepper started. So I'm just going to cut from the inside out. You guys, the outside of the pepper has a really slippery sort of skin. And so if you turn it over and you cut from the outside, and you cut from the inside out, it's going to be a lot safer, and it's going to help your knife to stay more steady on the pepper. And then we're just going to go in and chop this pepper up into a nice fine dice. You guys, this spaghetti, you guys could add any vegetables that you might have lying around. So if you have a couple like carrots or something, you guys could throw these in the sauce and it's going to be just fine. I'm going to get all of my garlic crushed and peeled. And then I just want to show you guys how my meat looks. So you can see that it has released some fat. That's okay. I'm going to actually use that to cook the vegetables in, so I'm not going to drain this meat. but I'm also not going to add any more oil to the pan. So I'm just making a little spot to throw in my onions and my bell peppers. We're just going to let those go ahead and start cooking with the meat. If you guys don't like onion, maybe you could go a little bit shy on the onion or add a different type of an onion. If you used a white onion or a red onion, those onions have a little bit of a milder flavor and also will end up a little bit sweeter when they're cooked. So that's an option you guys could do. But the onion, you know, and the sauce, as long as it's cooked nice and tiny, even if you don't like onions, it should be okay. Because it just becomes like part of the sauce at that point. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw my mushrooms in and just let these cook together with all of the spices and the seasonings and the meat, and just let everything kind of just get cooked together. All right, and then I'm going to go back in and I'm just chopping up my garlic. So we just want to mince this up into a nice tiny mince. You guys, it doesn't have to be perfect, so if there's some bigger chunks, don't even sweat it. We're just going to throw it all in the sauce. So we're going to get that in there, and then again, I'm just going to get this all nice and combined. You can see the veggies are starting to turn a little bit translucent. This is exactly what you want to see. And then I am going to go ahead and throw in my can of diced tomatoes. You guys, this sauce was very thick, so if you want to stretch the sauce even further, you could add 2 jars of sauce and 2 cans of canned tomatoes, and that's going to actually be just fine. It's not going to change the flavor much, but it is going to go ahead and stretch the sauce a little bit more for you. And then I'm just throwing in a couple tablespoons of tomato paste. And then I'm just going to get this all nice and combined. And then I want to bring this up to a very mild boil. And then I'm going to turn it down to a medium-low heat. And then I'm going to let it cook for about 45 minutes on a medium-low. So you can see it's starting to bubble, and I am just going to throw in my bay leaves. And then as soon as you guys get it up to a bubble, like I said, you're going to want to drop the heat down. So just get those bay leaves down in the middle. So just get the bay leaves down into the sauce, and then go ahead and pop a lid on your sauce. And then again, turn the temperature down and let it cook for about 45 minutes. So this is what it's going to look like after 45 minutes have gone by. And then you guys can see how nice and chunky this sauce looks. So this is just a huge step up and a huge improvement than if you guys were just to open up a can of sauce, throw some burger into it, and make your family spaghetti. Hopefully they like this one a little bit better. This one is a little bit more substantial, and it is a great way to sneak a lot of veggies into your kids' meals without them knowing. And then I like to throw in a little bit of Parmesan cheese into my spaghetti sauce. If you guys do not want to do this step, you obviously do not have to. And if you have a better quality Parmesan, you could definitely use that as well. This one that's really finely grated like this actually works well because it doesn't like melt the same way as like a shredded cheese would melt. So it just kind of like melts right into the sauce, and it just works out really good. So it gives it a nice little salty, cheesy flavor that I really like. And you guys, that's it. That is how you guys are going to spruce up your jarred spaghetti sauce and make it taste like a more homemade sauce. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you guys did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring the notifications bell. And I will see you guys in my next video, and you all have a great day.